Hi. Welcome, welcome. We are so happy that you are here. I am Christian.
And I am Nate.
And we are Project Trek. And we're really happy that you are here. For those of you all that are new to our channel, or you're new to our Facebook page, or you're new to our Instagram, we have been traveling around for the last 5 years, and we are a full-time family. We have had 3 rigs. We started out with a 5th wheel. We went to a Class A, and now we are back in a 5th wheel. We have 2 kids.
Because 5th wheels are the best. They are.
Yes, they are. We have 2 kids, Ella, who is 8, and we have Anderson, who's 6. And it's very weird because our kids have really only known full-time travel. So it's kind of like a neat little social experiment. It is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all our kids know. So, if this life is really messed up, we'll find out.
We'll let you know in the next live.
Yeah. So tonight we're going to be chatting a little bit about boondocking. As I mentioned, we've been traveling for 5 years, full-time in our RV. And one thing that we have really loved has been the gift of freedom and time. Nate is a retired firefighter. And we decided that we were going to take our business to the streets. Hi.
The streets of Wasta, South Dakota.
Hey, Eddie, it's nice to have you. Exactly. So we are going to be chatting with you guys about boondocking tonight, but we would really love to know where you all are tuning in from. It looks like we have some Floridians here. Oh, the Wandering Wheatons. Hello. I do know. Hi, Beanie. How are you? So tonight we're going to be teaching a little bit about boondocking. For those of you all that don't know what boondocking is, I bet this sounds really weird.
Boondocking.
What on earth is boondocking?
So if you don't know, should I answer this?
Yeah, go for it.
If you don't know, boondocking or dry camping is just camping without hookups. And hookups are like electric, water, and sewer hookups.
That's not what I think.
Okay. So when you're in an RV park, typically you have all 3 of those. Electricity to some degree, 15 amp, 20 amp, 30 amp, 50 amp. But when you're dry camping, you just run off of batteries or generator or a combination of the 2. Or like we used to, you just live inside your RV like it's a hard shell tent and you just use flashlights.
Pretty much.
Yeah, we don't do that anymore.
But we don't do that anymore. That's right. Really quickly, we have a lot of people from everywhere. We have some people from Texas. Hi, Melanie. We have some people from Alaska. Hello. We have some people from right down the way here in South Dakota.
Joshua, just how hot in Houston? Because it is 100 degrees here in South Dakota.
Yeah, so we would like to know. We're interested. We're definitely interested.
I am melting.
It is 100 degrees here in South Dakota. Florida, yes. Arizona, hot, hot, hot. Thank you.
Oh,
we understand. Arizona. Yes, I feel like Arizona gets it right now.
I heard it was like, what, 114 today?
That's right. That's right. 110 tomorrow.
Ugh.
Oh, my God. That is hot. That is very hot.
You win.
That is, yeah, you win. You are, yeah. So, when we're talking about boondocking, we've mentioned that we've done it a lot of different ways. And when we were first starting out boondocking, do you remember the very first time we were planning on boondocking?
Planning on it? I remember crossing over into Washington State and parking us at lake.
No, I guess I was talking about Goose Island Campground when we were actually boondocking. Like when we actually planned. I feel like we were like, it was like a production.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible. We did okay. But we got back from a dry camping week with Intentional Adventure and Red, White, and Bethune.
And they say that they're only wanting to boondock in cooler weather, and I couldn't agree more.
It was hot.
It was very hot.
We did pretty well.
Yeah,
we did pretty well.
And we did well because we actually do have solar, and essentially because we do have solar, it has helped so much.
Yeah.
So much. We're still getting some hot reports.
117 degrees.
My gosh, you guys. So we wanted to just kind of come over here and talk a little bit about some things that I think you need to think about when you are heading into boondocking. There are obviously three main components that one must consider when they are headed to the outback, i.e. water, electricity, and dump.
And with dump, let's include garbage, because that's another thing that you have to account for.
I'm going to agree with him on that. So let's go ahead and go over the first component, which is electricity. As we've mentioned, we do have solar, but we didn't always have solar. When we were looking to start out boondocking, we actually were in a Class A that had a generator and some batteries. So you don't actually have to have solar to begin boondocking.
Correct.
But you do have to have certain things, and I'll let Nate tell you what those are, because I don't know.
So like she said, in the Class A, we had a house generator. It was built into the RV, and we could just turn it on from inside the RV. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to buy a small inverter generator, and you do want an inverter generator. A, because they're quiet. B, because they're lightweight. And C, because they are safe for sensitive electronics, like your laptops, your cell phones, stuff like that. You won't get power surges with them. There's many different options, and I'll tell you right now, generators are a great option for boondocking. They're relatively inexpensive, at least compared to lithium batteries and solar panels and all that. But you can start small. You can wire them in parallel so that you can run two side by side and only use one if you need to. Really, they're pretty efficient. You might only need a gallon and a half a day of fuel, so that is actually really inexpensive to camp with. You can move up to the whole house generators or the onboard generators. Like our rig this one came equipped with a liquid propane generator, meaning it doesn't use gas or diesel. It uses propane tanks to fuel it. And it's got a remote inside, so we can start it from inside. So there's many different options with generators, and they're all great options because it's actually really inexpensive to camp that way. Now, it becomes a little less convenient than, say, a huge battery bank and solar panels.
You're really good at teaching. You should have a YouTube channel. Yeah, all that. So really quickly, let's go ahead and answer a few questions as it relates to solar. We watched your solar video. Why did you go with the 4 or 5 charge controllers instead of just of the one or two larger ones?
That's a great question. It would have been more efficient had I just gone with one large charge controller, except that I bought our system used from another RVer. He was upgrading to a 24 volt system. So I took his 12 volt system and he sold me 3 Victron MPPT charge controllers. So I took those and just added on to that. It would have been a more streamlined option to go with a larger charge controller.
So now that we've kind of chatted about electricity, we will answer a few questions at the end of this. I do want to talk a little bit, though, about water. We just got to use a really cool setup. If you are following us on Instagram over at Project Trek, I did share a little bit in our stories about our 60-gallon water bladder, and I have gotten a few questions about it, so I wanted to take the opportunity to have Nate sort of explain to you what it is, why it's beneficial, where you can find it, what you need, and considerations for water while boondocking.
Yeah, so we were out at this spot that was just insanely hot and dry. But it was it was an amazing view. But we were out there for 6 days. We have a 100-gallon freshwater tank, which is larger than most RVs' freshwater tanks. But that lasted us, what,
Yeah,
4 or 5 days.
Yeah, it was.
So the last day we were going to run out of water. So what are our options then? If we're in a Class A, it's a little bit easier, but we still have to close up slides and move the rig, secure everything, pack everything down, and move. We're in a fifth wheel, so it's a little bit more work. We'd have to close all the slides, hook up the truck, and drive it into town and fill up water. That's just, it's an option. And if you're comfortable with that, go for it. But that's a lot of work to just go shuttle water. So what I came up with was a transfer pump and this water reservoir that we purchased off Amazon. Hopefully we can include the link.
Yeah, so at the very end of all of this, I'm going to give you guys a link where you can find everything that we're talking about, okay?
But this was a 60-gallon water reservoir, and it's just a soft shell bag that you can put in the back of your pickup or your Jeep or whatever. They sell 30, 60, and I think 100-gallon bags. And you just fill it with a garden hose, and then you drive it. So we drove it to a gas station. They let us use their water key for free at no charge, and we filled up the 60-gallon water reservoir, brought it back, and I transferred the water from the pickup using garden hoses into a transfer pump that I bought from Harbor Freight for like $45, and it's a 12-volt water pump that I just hooked right up to our battery bank, and it pulled the water from the bag all the way into our freshwater fill, just like if we were filling up the RV like normal. So I was able to add another 60 gallons, which we had plenty left over, and we actually sent the rest of the water to another RVer that was staying out there a couple extra days.
So in terms of water, I think a few other considerations that you're going to want to make is, how are you going to filter water? A lot of the water that you're getting are going to be coming from not the greatest of sources. So if you are someone who is a water snob like me, I would like to go ahead and plug the Berkey really quickly. The Berkey water filter has been really great. And it's nice that we can just kind of have it there and make sure that our drinking water has been filtered.
It's always a good idea to put an inline filter on your hose when you're putting water in your RV, because you want to protect the plumbing in your RV from that sediment. But beyond that, like the Berkey is more of a passive filtration system. There are active filtration systems that you can put in, like the inline water filter is an active filtration system. But then there's reverse osmosis systems. There's all kinds of stuff. We just happen to use the Berkey for our drinking water.
Hey, guys, can I just tell you something? We have 23 people watching right now. If you have not commented where you're watching from, we would love to know so that we can compare. We just want to tell you how hot.
I think she said that we would be answering questions at the end, which is true. But feel free to ask your questions, because if it's on topic, we may just answer.
Yeah, totally. I would like to keep things moving, though, so that we can get as much information to you as we possibly can. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about electricity. We've talked a little bit about water. Now I think it's time to talk about the most important subject. What do you do with your dookie-doo?
Okay, so we have 100 gallons of black water capacity.
That's a lot of poop.
Okay, so black water, if you're not familiar with the terms, black water is poop water, gray water is like sink and shower water, and fresh water is fresh water. All separate tank systems, hopefully.
Most of the time.
So I can't imagine, we will run out of other resources before we fill up 100 gallons of poop.
Yes.
I would hope.
Right.
So that's not a huge consideration for us. But a lot of smaller RVs only have, a 20-gallon black tank or a 30-gallon black tank. So that does not limit I shouldn't say that. What do you do with that? At that point, you're limited to either hooking up your RV and driving into town and dumping at a dump station, or the other option is a Blue Boy or a Honey Wagon. We have one of those, and it's just it's a transfer tank for wastewater, and it's just a tank on wheels, and it sucks.
I would also just really love to add that at the very end, I am going to tell you guys a few apps that are really beneficial that you can utilize to find places to dump, to find places to fill with water. So I will be going over a few apps, and then I am going to go ahead and send you guys out maybe like a resource sheet where I can put all of this information on like one sheet. I just wanted to figure out what we were going to go over so that I can make sure we include everything. Really quickly, since we talked a little bit about black water, can we talk about gray water in terms of how to handle that?
Yeah, so gray water is one of those things that fills up really fast. So if you're in a campground that has water and electric but no sewer, gray water is one of those things that just like when you're doing dishes, you're taking showers, doing laundry, if you have a washing machine, gray water fills up really fast. So not in campgrounds, but say you're boondocking on BLM land or Bureau of Land Management land. A lot of times it's perfectly legal and socially acceptable to crack open your gray tank and just let your gray water run, not your black water.
Do not let black water run.
Don't do that. But gray water. And what's important is if you hold in all that gray water and then pull the valve and just dump it all at once, it can get kind of stinky because it's been stagnant in there. So right when you get there, if you just crack it open and let it trickle out, it's no big deal. This is not legal or allowed or socially acceptable everywhere.
Make sure you do your research on that. Really quickly, I just want to say hi to a few people. Hello from Bradenton. That's actually where we're from, so I'm always really happy to see Bradenton people. Just bought my fifth wheel in Tucson, where it's in dry storage. Can't wait to get it in January. Thanks for the info. She thinks we're cute. Yeah, me too. I'm really happy for you, and I'm really excited, and I am just really thankful that you're over here watching us, and hopefully we can help you. So what size Berkey do we have for 4 people?
And I can't remember the name of it. I think it's the big Berkey.
It's the big Royal. No.
I think it's just the big one.
It's the big
5
Berkey. It's 5. Yeah, totally 5. So we've chatted a little bit about electricity. We've chatted about water. We've chatted a little bit about the black water and the gray water. One big consideration that you need to have before heading out is what are you going to do with your trash? A lot of people don't take these things into consideration. So before you're going boondocking, our friends over in the full-time family boondocker group, Jenny and Omari, have given us a few really great suggestions. Now, if you guys are not in that Facebook group, I want to go ahead and just plug it now. Nicole and Dustin Schroeder, who own Full-Time Families, are amazing people, and they have put lots of resources out. And one resource is the Boondockers Facebook group. And one thing that we talk about in there is just any spots that you're interested in, anything that you might, need help with. Sometimes there are people that will go in there and post. And so I wanted to let you know that there are a lot of boondocking groups out on Facebook. There are so many resources. There are so many people that are like willing to help. Because I find, and maybe this is just my opinion, but I find that people who boondock really want everyone to boondock.
It is amazing.
We really want you to come out and boondock with us. Maybe we're lonely and we just don't want to admit it.
I like being in the RV parks. I like walking my dog and talking to people. I do enjoy that. But some of these places you can go boondocking at, it's just stunning.
Yeah, it's like you can't
This morning we woke up
like this kind of stunning, like just crazy views. And
not this morning, last night.
Yeah,
we were eating dinner, and right after dinner, as the sun went down, there were bighorn sheep like 30 feet from our RV.
Yeah, they were just like eating and hanging out. We're like watching them out the window. We have just gotten the opportunity to just stay at some really cool places. Our first boondocking site was in.
Hey, Stephanie.
Yes, was in Horseshoe Bend, not Goose Island Campground in Moab. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
in Reno, Nevada right now and watching, hey, thanks for watching, and are you hot? We're all trying to talk about.
I assume Reno is hot.
We're all trying to figure out who is the hottest on this whole thing. Oh, but I wanted to tell you, with that Goose Island campground, we were really nervous because all we had was a generator. And so that kind of leads me to a question that we have. And that is it worth starting off with solar, or do we need to break ourselves old school dry camping to appreciate the fantastic life of solar? I'm going to say yeah. I'm going to say yeah, because ultimately that's exactly how we started out. We did not have solar when we started.
Oh, I thought you were saying, yeah, it's worth it to start off with solar.
No, you need to break yourself in old school, dry camp, get started.
So here's the deal. You will need a generator anyway. Like, even with the most badass solar system, you are going to need, you're going to need a small generator at least. And so what I suggest is buying the Predator generators from Harbor Freight. That I believe they have Honda engines in them.
Yeah.
You can run them in series. You can run them parallel, so you can buy a wiring kit that wires two together if you need more power. So I suggest starting off with a generator just in case dry camping isn't for you. I assure you it probably is, because it's amazing. But just in case you don't like it,
yeah,
you know, you're left with a $500, $600 purchase, and not a $7,500 to $10,000.
Right. Going back to the trash thing, though, because I feel like I skipped over that, and I want to reiterate that a lot of people don't take a few considerations in, and this is kind of the thing that I wanted to touch on. So as you are preparing your boondocking trip, there's just a few things that I think could make your stay out boondocking a little more peaceful. And that's just some basics of like making sure you get all your laundry done, because you're not going to be able to do it while you're out. Make sure that you take out all of your trash, because when you're out there, you're not going to be able to throw trash away. So you're going to have to basically stockpile your trash. One way to do this is whenever you purchase food, take everything out of the boxes, so you're not having to throw boxes away. There's just like you can just take everything out, like when you do your grocery shopping. And then also make sure that you like stack your paper plates, and if they allow fires, burning some of your paper products is a really great way to get rid of some of your trash if it's allowed. And then another little tip that I have is find out like where there is gosh, doggone it. Yes, find out if there is an RV park or something close by and give them a call, because sometimes they'll let you dump your trash, and sometimes they'll even like let you fill your water, and they'll let you do some of those sort of things. Really quickly, we had a comment
Stacy,
about...
yes, the Predator inverter generators are very quiet.
Yeah, very, very quiet.
So we missed a question up here I wanted to answer. Question about solar.
We already
I'm
did.
sorry, we already answered that.
It's okay, babe. We're just doing what we can do, okay? So right now, I did, however, want to answer a question that came through, because we posted this in a boondocking group and just asked if anybody had any questions, and we had a few things that came through, and I want to go ahead and just answer some of this.
I'm sorry. As far as the size of the generator, that all depends on the size of your rig, your needs. I would go with at least a 2,000 watt generator. Now, you may not be able to run your AC on that. There is a workaround for that, and that is buying a capacitor or an easy start for your AC. It's about $300-ish, and you hardwire install it onto your rooftop AC unit. And basically what it does is it stores a charge. It slowly trickle charges and stores a charge. So that way, when you start up your generator, that charge is already there, and you can run your AC on a small 2,000 watt generator.
Hey, really quickly, because Eddie keeps everything straight for us around here. Don't forget, everyone, give a thumbs up on this video if you are finding it helpful and beneficial. And if you want to see Nate and I smile later on, because we get a lot of thumbs ups.
Thanks, Eddie.
That's what we do.
Good looking out.
We really get excited with each other later on. That's what she said. So we had a question, and it is, I have some questions. We've never boondocked. I'm more anxious to boondock than I was to go full time. That's pretty amped. We have an old camper, and weight is a huge issue. Is solar pretty much out for us then? What and how many?
Let's answer one question at a time. So weight is an issue. Weight is always an issue unless you've got a huge tour bus. So we added just under 1,000 pounds with our solar setup. Now that's 10 solar panels. That's 5 50-pound batteries, and then all the wiring and all that. So that was a substantial amount of weight that we added. You'll kind of have to go from there. You don't need this massive solar setup. You don't need to have that. You can just have a panel and 2 batteries and run what you can.
Hell, you can have a tent. Like, let's be real. That's what we're doing here. Like, it's basically like tent camping. It's however comfortable you really want to be.
But right? That's why having that inexpensive inverter generator, that small generator, is good for. Just to supplement power for when you need to run, the hair dryer. When you need to run anything, like we use a hot water kettle, an electric hot water kettle for our coffee in the morning. And so if you need to fire up the generator for that, you can.
Really quickly, hello from Middle Tennessee. It's nice to have you here.
Hey, Middle Tennessee.
Really quickly, just the amp of generator. It depends on how much you're wanting to power. We actually have a 3500, and that will power
5500. So basically, it's a 50 amp generator. It's just like if we're plugged in at a full service campground. But I don't like running that because it runs off of propane bottles, and I don't feel like going through the hassle of getting those refilled or exchanging them. So we just try and run off our batteries as much as possible, and we've been able to.
But if somebody were going to go and get a generator, how many amperages would you recommend?
They're typically rated by watts, and so I would say get a 3,500 watt generator. Just as a across the board recommendation, I would get a 3,500 watt inverter generator. The
certainty the certainty is sexy over here.
That does not.
He said 3,500 across the board.
That does not apply to everyone. Smaller, pop-ups, rigs, typically with 1 AC, rigs that are like 30 amp, you may be able to get away with a 2,000 watt generator. But just as a general rule, I would say 3,500 watt generator. Or buy one 2,000 watt generator, and then if you need to, buy a second one and a parallel kit.
I own a dual fuel, 3,500 watts, runs 30 amp. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. That's what I'm talking about. Answer the questions. Be a light in somebody else's life.
Okay, so
help them. Okay, sorry.
This one had more questions. So
okay.
So yeah, 1,000 pounds. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question because I don't know how much weight we're talking here. How many?
So we've answered pretty much this part, but she also asks, do you run much AC at all or use fans at night?
With our system, we have 530 amp hour batteries. We can run our AC for a couple hours. It really is a drain on the system. So I tend to not run the solar, or I tend to not run the AC just off the batteries alone. So what we end up doing is we end up, using our Instant Pot or something, and so I'll kick on the generator then to top off the batteries, and we'll run the ACs.
Can I tell you guys something? He makes it sound like he's so casual, but he's got this app on his phone, and he's like constantly looking at the levels of the battery.
Well, admittedly, this system is kind of new to us. We've been using it for a couple of months now, but for about a month now.
Yeah.
But we're still getting used to it. But it is, oh man, it's a game changer.
Oh, okay.
I think it's important to note that we will never see our money back on this solar.
Ooh, you make it sound so bad.
But we got it with the intention of just having the freedom to, if we're on a long haul drive, pull over to rest area.
I love this.
We got plenty of power.
I love this. USB fans. That's awesome. Another thing that we actually had was we got this little mini USB swamp cooler when we were first starting out boondocking because we wanted to be able to keep something cool. And
I think Intentional Adventure, if you're still on, maybe you can talk to the efficacy of that swamp cooler.
Yeah, he has one. Okay, so let's chat a little bit about apps. That's me. This is my time to shine, baby. All right, so I recently got a new app that I can't share about yet, but I do want to let you know that there's a new app that allows you to plan it's maps for the backcountry, and you can navigate and track, and it's all BLM land. You can also search for hikes, and you can download and record your path, but you can also look on, you can find campsites on the road or in the backcountry. And so there is a new app that just recently came out that I'll be looking at. It's called, hold on, let me tell you what it's called. Oh, it's called
Gaia
GPS. I'm going to write it right in here. I just got this one. Okay, but let's go ahead and talk about some of the apps that I use on the reg. I am a huge fan of pretty much the entire Google G Suite. So what I like to do is I like to, oh man, let me see if I can do this really quick. We're gonna do this. Are you ready?
She's trying to screen share right now. So
yeah, I'm sorry.
I'll elaborate on this a little bit while she's doing that. It's a really nice thought to like, oh, I want to go dry camping. And you get out to these vast open spaces in South Dakota, and then you realize, wait a minute, is this private land? Is this public land? Is this BLM land? Is this national forestry land? Is this national grasslands?
Right.
There's all kinds of different designations for these lands. And you can't just go camping anywhere. You can't just like drive onto someone's property, even if there's no fence. Like you can't just go out there and camp. So maps like these, where you can download auxiliary map packs, that they help designate and kind of delineate what is what.
So I want to go ahead and just let you know I'm not going to be screen sharing. I can't do it. However, I do want to let you guys know that I do love the Google Suite. What I do is I will create a map using a few different apps and websites. One app that's great for boondocking that has really opened up boondocking to everyone is the website and app Campendium. Campendium is it's an app or a website that allows you to search for different types of camping in your area. Not only will you be able to search for camping, but you can also search for parking and dumping, which is incredibly beneficial. It will show you paid sites. It will show you BLM land. It will show you state parks. It will show you forestry, and it will show you places where you can get water and dump your tanks. So I believe that Campendium is incredibly beneficial.
And it has user-generated reviews on there. And so people leave comments all the time. Like there's a rest area just a mile from here, and we didn't stop there because the reviews said that the dump stations and the waters were closed since 2019.
Now, when we're not doing like outdoor camping and we're just kind of like needing overnight stops or we're needing a place to stay, I do love the app All Stays. All Stays will let you know of where you can find parking off of the exits at particular rest areas. It'll let you know which like Walmarts will allow you to park overnight. It'll also give you like a little little detail. Right. So Gaia has all kinds of map overlays, like the National Forest. Yes. Thank you, Paul. Paul, yes, you are the winner. Thank you. Yeah, so that's one that I'm looking at right now because I think you can get a lot of different overlays and plugins. So I'm excited about that one. Another great app that I have found is just the Google Map app. I save everything in the Google Map, and one day I would love to just do like a straight up planning. I want to do a planning live video. I will teach you guys how to plan really great trips because I love to plan. I do love to plan. But using the Google Suite allows you to create and save places. So I'm just going to show you something really quickly. That way I can just do it. So here is like my Google Map. I don't know if we can see it. Okay, so here's my Google Map. I get my lighting right here. This is my Google Map, and when I am, it's too bright. We can't do this.
Kind of turn it
to the side a little bit, like that.
This is terrible.
Oh man, I wish I could show you right now. Okay, but I can't. But that's all right. Anyways, what I'm able to do is I'm able to save places. I'm able to add places to my map. I'm able to look at things on Google Earth. Google Earth is going to be your best friend when you are needing to get into boondocking spots. Another really big tip is turn your phone. Okay, all right, Emily. I'm going to do that right now. My gosh, let's do this, girl. Let's chat about it. Okay. Oh, wait. I'm going to turn it way down. I'm going to turn it way down. Okay. Oh my God, Emily. Oh my God. Yes. Thank you. We did it. Okay. So if you go saved, first off, whenever you get into your Google Map, if you ever want to look up a place, like let's just say, for instance, there's a bar next door and maybe I want to save it. You can click this button, save. And then what I do is I actually have lists. And as you can see, it's like things to do in South Dakota, places to stay, places to see, things to do. And basically everything, I save everything on there. And then from there, I am actually able to create and customize my own maps. This one is Axnis Outlet West. My children need to stop. My children need to stop now. I understand. Hey, I understand. We're all done.
Excuse me, guys.
Okay. So as you can see, these are the places that I have saved. And these are the places that I plan on needing to know about, right? So like, I've added all of these spots that I would love to stay here on this map. Yes, Emily, we don't play games around here. I don't care what I'm doing because I didn't move into an RV so that I could be an absent parent. I'm here for it. That's the thing. I got all the time in the world. Hello from Chicago. So that's why I love Google so much, because I can add it in and then I can go and I can change, like, let's just say, for instance, Nomad View Dispersed. I can actually change it to like satellite imagery so that I can like really take a look. Right. So this was, you know, I can get in there and actually see what we're getting into. So
that satellite view is very useful.
Yes. Okay. So do you have any questions that we can answer right now? I feel like that was like, I wanted to try and get as much information into a short amount of time. So I want to invite you guys. Hey, listen.
Don't do it.
We can all play, okay? I am here to raise good people. No fighting. I would love to invite you all to something that Nate and I are putting together, and we're really excited about it. And I am going to post it. Oh, okay. We have questions. We have questions. But then I'm going to share with you guys something in a second. Any tips on safety being in the middle of nowhere at times? Absolutely. Get to know your neighbors. Most everyone who is out boondocking want to look out for each other. And so I want you to know that there is a community of people who boondock, and we love helping each other out. So getting to know your neighbors is going to be huge. And there's
we just met a brand new full timer. She was like 6 days into her trip.
I was like, come hang out with us, and she was like, oh.
Yeah, and I guarantee you, if our truck was gone, like we were in town, and she saw someone messing with our stuff, I guarantee you she'd chase them off.
Yes, totally. How do y'all manage holding tanks when boondocking? Well, we manage them like they get stinky, like we don't manage them like they're unmanaged.
Are you talking about our tanks filling up? We touched on that a little bit earlier, but quick recap. We
let out the gray, and then where it's permissible, we'll let out gray where it's permissible. If it's not, then we just hold it. We try and obviously use less water, and if we need to go and dump, we will go and dump and then come back if we have to.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big rig though. We have 100 gallons of gray, 100 gallons of black, and 100 gallons of fresh.
Oh, girl, we have a very large rig. How long is your rig? And do you have difficulty finding places that you can fit?
This is a 42-foot fifth wheel, and then plus the truck, we're at 63 feet long.
Mm-hmm.
There has been one spot in 5 years.
Okay, wait. I really want to know what the spot is, because I have one in mind, and I don't know if it's the same. We'll say it on the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Winery in California.
Okay, so the winery in California was more of a leveling issue.
Which one? What are you talking about?
The campground in Michigan, the one next to the monastery. We just didn't fit in that site. And
I know what you're talking about.
And the site was plenty long, but it was on a turn, and there was tons of trees. So we just had to stay in overflow for the night, and we parked in a different spot the next morning. That is the only time. People will tell you all the time, oh, that's too big of a rig. You won't be able to fit it anywhere. I really haven't found that to be true. But you got to get really good at parking.
Yeah, you have to be good at parking. That's the thing. So yes, Emily, if you are interested in our solar setup, we do have some videos about this. I don't know if they're actually in a playlist on our YouTube channel, but if you want to Facebook message me, I can send you the link, or you can hop on and just search Project Trek Solar and it should pop up for you.
These are great questions.
How did you find out if it's permissible to let your gray water drip? That's what Campendium is really great for, especially when we're talking about figuring out which places you can go, which places are too small, that kind of stuff. Campendium is really a great resource for knowing these types of things. How are the roads getting in? I'm nervous we won't make the drive going in with hills and stuff. Well, that's where I think having the Google map comes in,
the topographic
map comes in, because
topographic maps are great, but you do need to know how to read them. It all has to do with line spacing, because you'll see these circular lines. The farther apart they are, the greater rate of elevation per how many feet. Whatever.
Yeah. Also, if you have the Allstays app, it'll actually give you grades on there. So if you want to know what the grade is going to be, Allstays will actually give you the grade on it. So, and again, Campendium, because people will tell you in the reviews, I had a heck of a time getting in here, yada, yada, yada. So. Look online for the BLM. Okay, so that new app that and Ben, I'm kind of talking to you on this one, that new app that I was talking about that has the layers, the Gaia app, from the way that I understand it, there's going to be incline and that kind of stuff. So that's pretty much
terrain maps.
Yeah. Do you use RV Pro like with planning? No, I don't. I have before, and it was I'm sure it was beneficial, but for me, Google, the entire Google suite is just something that I've grown accustomed to, and I find that the Google Maps and being able to save things has just been really awesome. Really quickly though, before we move on, I have a special announcement. And this is very, very last minute. It's something that we've been thinking about. It's something that we've been wanting to do. It's something that we've been dreaming about. It's something that I put together at the last second because I said, hey, you know what? We're going to do it.
She didn't say that because I actually don't know what this is.
Yes, you do. We have a new Facebook group.
Oh, yes.
So we are going to be launching a new Facebook group. And the Facebook group is going to be designed to give people support and be able to communicate about where we are, to talk a little bit more intimately, but not intimately like that, but like to talk a little bit more in detail about things. We just want to be able to help provide, and we want to create a community space where we can do that. So we are launching a new group. If you would like to be added, you should go and add yourself. It is blank right now. It's literally like we were hopping on and I was like, man, I wish I could have done that Facebook group because I would really love to share that. And I thought, you know what? I am going to do it. I'm going to do it right now. I'm just going to go for it. So we're creating our own RV support Facebook group, and I would love it if you would get added. I am going to be doing a giveaway in there tonight because I would love to kind of kick it off and get people going. Again, there's nothing in there right now because this is just, I wanted to do it and I just knew that I needed to act quickly. Thank you. We're pretty excited. And thank you, Tara, for all of your encouragement along the way. I appreciate you. And that is going to end this live video for tonight.
Yeah, 47 minutes. Good one.
We did good. Wait. Okay, wait.
Let me answer one question. Would you go toy hauler? Why or why not? So, great question. The model that we got is kind of a hybrid where it has a garage area in the back and you can fit like full-size kayaks underneath. So we went with that because it's a double axle, less tires, less weight, all that.
Oh my God! Oh my God! You guys are already adding yourself.
Yes, I would go with a toy hauler. I love this floor plan and this rig so much that I would have a hard time switching out. But toy haulers are a great option. Now, what's important about toy haulers that most people don't realize is that garage area is not as well insulated as the rest of the RV because it's designed to have toys in it, gasoline-powered toys. So I don't know if it's some code or something. The garage areas are just not built to withstand extreme temperatures. RVs in general aren't built to withstand extreme temperatures, but the garage area even less. A lot of toy haulers with that back patio, it looks incredible. It looks so beautiful.
It's cold as hell.
I could lower that porch area over this cliff and it would just be incredible. Yes, you could. Except that those are typically plastic doors closing off the outside air, the ambient air. It can get really uncomfortable really fast.
Yeah.
If you go into it knowing that, yeah, go for it. Because a lot of times the toy haulers, especially the triple axle toy haulers, have just massive cargo capacities into the 4,500 pounds, 5,000 pound range.
We just really love cold air around here.
Well, it's 100 degrees out today.
This guy, like if it's not going to be like cool, he's not there. He's not there.
Hey, I was a good sport. It was really hot out.
It was really hot. It was really hot. We had a great time. And we're headed back out. We're going to go and I think we're going to go to Devil's Tower and we're going to go and hang out with some buffalo and we're going to go do some other stuff. So we love to boondock. That's like what we like to do. So if you guys have any questions or if you need any support, go and get in our new Facebook group so we can get to know you on a more personal level. We want to be able to help you. We want to be able to have these kinds of conversations. So in the Facebook group, we're just going to be able to answer questions a little bit.
And this is not a ClickFunnels. We're not selling anything.
No, just ourselves. And if you have not subscribed to our channel, we would love the support. We're just two people trying to spread the message. This life is awesome. Anybody can do it. And I'm really thankful for each and every one of you. Go and boondock your hearts out. All right. Bye, guys.
See ya.